Hope you edit.
It's your debut to the internet, my friend.
Hi, everybody.
But it's no pressure. I know you prepared for this.
I did prepare, but there's a lot to say. I didn't know how long to make it, but I do have some notes. You
Oh,
know,
well, we have time. I didn't rent out a studio.
I
But how are
did.
you?
I've been good. I've been good. I just, quite busy at the JCC where I'm training, a lot of clients, and it's fun. It's really it's rewarding. I have to say that. Every day is a new adventure. You know, Either new clients or new exercises we like to do and things like that. But
Very
it's all
cool.
good. I'm not complaining.
Very cool. So,
You know.
ladies and gentlemen, Rocco Perrotta is a personal fitness trainer, and he's been training for how long have you been a personal trainer, Rocco fitness trainer?
Okay. I'll be honest. Let's see. Let's think about that. Let's just say I'll say 15 to 20 years officially, but I did train some family and friends before I was a trainer. Give them a hand with some experience, and always helped out some friends I had at the gym, um, things like that. On a level like that. But I was always into health and fitness or staying active somehow.
Why'd you get into fitness? What made you want to become a personal trainer?
Well, to back up a little bit,
Sure.
my first choice of careers was technology. And, I just was excited because I think I got into technology back in the early to mid 90s. And that's when like household computers were becoming more common. And it was exciting. It was an exciting era. I was getting into building computers. I mean, before that, I was programming on an old Commodore 64. I guess I'm telling my age now.
Wi-Fi. Don't
But
look a day over 50.
oh, okay, great. Anyway, what was I going to say? So yeah, I started building computers, getting into technology, programming HTML at the time back in the 90s, getting into graphics work. I was a pre-press specialist, which is someone that works for a printing company, preparing publications, like graphic design work. So I started going in that direction for a while, and I kind of geared myself away from fitness and nutrition, which was another passion of mine. But I guess over the years, during my career as a printing specialist, I worked for a company who actually I was, let's just say, laid off for the summer. They say, "Can we lay off for the summer? We're a little slow," and it was a pretty decent sized company, a mid sized company. But I guess they chose me because they knew who's my wife now was a teacher, and to take off the summer was great because she had summers off, I had summers off.
Right.
So it worked out kind of well. So I said, I'll take the summer off. They said, but don't get another job. We want you back in come October or November. And I guess by faith, it was still a little slow, and well, faith for me. So I decided to enroll myself in a school that I found in Pittsburgh, which was called Pittsburgh School of Pain Management. And I went there because I found out about this therapy I was learning about. It's called myofascial trigger point therapy. And
Say
I
that
had
again.
it's called was it?
Say it again.
It's
Just
called myofascial trigger point therapy.
trigger point therapy. Okay.
Yes, it's a way to treat myofascial pain. I mean, there's several ways to do it, and this was using trigger point therapy, hands-on techniques and manipulation.
Gotcha.
So I was able to actually attend the school in Pittsburgh. I actually moved to Pittsburgh for a year just because I was so involved with this therapy. Uh, Aside from doing computer work, I was very involved with this therapy. I learned a lot on my own, and I was helping a lot of friends and family just get out of pain. And I wasn't really a therapist at the time. I would just offer some help. From there, I wanted to become a therapist because I've helped myself where I literally couldn't get out of a chair at one point, but using this therapy, let's just say I helped myself within about 10 minutes to get up out of a chair. And
So what was going on with you?
I was always very active. I remember there was a specific week. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Thought I
You're
was
fine.
silenced.
You're fine.
Clients,
No
you know.
problem. No problem. You're a
Mhm.
busy man.
I should back up a little somewhere. I think at the time I was. I think my dad was at the time when he was around. He was alive. He was a guy that never complained. Always fit. You know, full of energy. Always had us, my brothers, my two older brothers, and I, very active as children. And he developed some kind of sciatica like pain.
Okay.
And, he never complained, but he told me he knew I was reading up on this therapy I was teaching myself. I had a book and some internet stuff at the time back in, what was it, early 2000 or more. Anyway, so I took it upon myself. My father asked maybe he could help me because I can't, my father, even though for a 70-year-old, he can scale a fence, no problem. I mean, this guy was very fit and strong for his age. And he was like that his whole life. But he goes, for some reason, I can't dash across the street. If the light's changing, I'm feeling an ache in my side, my hip. So what little I knew and what little I was learning at the time, I said, all right, I'll give it a shot. I'll check your musculoskeletal system, a couple of muscles and whatnot. And about two or three times, again, I was not a therapist. I was just offering some help from some things I was learning and reading about. And I think I helped my father a day here, a day there, a few days later, another day. And whatever I did, my father came up to me a few days later and said, I don't know what you did, but I'm out of pain. And I was like, wow, this is pretty interesting. So from that point, I mean, this is going into therapy now. This maybe we could say this for another topic, but you asked. Um, from there, I started putting my hands on, whoever was allowed me to, like friends, family, saying, "Hey, you woke up with a little sore, stiff neck. Let me try something." And I was using these techniques that I learned to manipulate the muscle to release muscles, and all of them, I had such a good success rate before I was a therapist. So there was a point in my life when I remember playing racquetball one day, helping a woman on the side of the road change her tire. I had somebody doing some crazy stuff on the dance floor with my brother-in-law, who's 6 foot something, on my shoulders on the dance floor. My back was really getting abused. Uh, I remember carrying like 2.5 cases of water up 4 flights of stairs that week. I did so much in one week that my back locked up. I didn't know what was going on. So there was a point that I couldn't get off the floor. I kind of fell out of my bed on the floor and I couldn't move. I think at the time my wife called me from work and said, something I could do to help you. And I said, listen, you can have the 10 best back specialists in the world. They can't touch me right now. They were here now, they cannot touch me. I cannot move. I'm in serious pain. And she's a teacher, so she says, okay, don't let me come home after class. I'll call you after class. By that time, I was staring at the ceiling saying, I think I kept a list of like 75 friends and family.
Go put your computer a little closer to yourself, just because you're.
Okay,
Yeah.
how about that? Is
It,
that
yeah, that's better. Now I can hear you.
I apologize. I remember staring at the ceiling saying, if I helped all these people, I have to be able to help myself. So it turns out I pulled myself up onto my feet, almost, well, on my knees. I think I crawled to my computer where I was reading up on this therapy I was involved with or reading about. And within a short amount of time, I was checking different muscles in my hip, within my stomach, within my back, and managed to make it go away like as if it never happened. And from there, my wife just happened to call, said, "How you feeling?" I said, "You never guess what? It's like it never happened. This pain." She said, "You better go become a therapist." So
Okay.
I kind of leaned away from technology at the time and went to Pittsburgh School of Pain Management, where I learned neurology, anatomy, pathology, uh, and all hands-on techniques and protocols to eliminate myofascial pain or common pains that we hear of.
Gotcha. So, could you go into myofascial pains just for anybody who doesn't
Oh,
exactly know what that term means?
myofascial pain is usually pain that someone can't pinpoint where it's coming from. We get pains like I mentioned. You'll get something like a sciatica-like pain down your leg. You'll get knee pain. You know, kind of like a stiff neck pain, shoulder pain, any kind of common injuries that you get.
Right.
You can get symptoms like your eye can get blurry. You can get a little deafness in your ear, uh, and a lot of these things, a lot of people don't know that come from the musculoskeletal system. That's important to know because you could be misdiagnosed because nothing against doctors, but they're trained in one thing. So look, hey, what is that? You got a problem with your knee? Hey, it's bone on bone. Or I see arthritis happening. But a lot of times the pain doesn't come from these issues that the doctors may find. It's coming from the musculoskeletal system. So that's what I'm trained to do is go in and figure out, are these muscles locked up? Let's go in and think of a manipulation. It's not a massage. That's a whole different thing. That's a little bit more of a spot thing, and there are a lot of good benefits. But this is more of understanding where you're going, and you have a job to do to figure out what's causing these problems uh, across the body. That's another thing. The body fools you because you can have a pain in your knee, but it could be coming from your back. You'll never know because the pain is in your knee, and you're going to think knee, knee, knee. And whoever you show that to, a physical therapist, a doctor, orthopedic, they're going to say, well, I think you have a knee problem. We know that maybe you don't have a knee problem. We'll look elsewhere out of the box, you know what I mean? So it's really interesting. It's gotten bigger over the years. You'll hear the buzzword trigger point. That wasn't so heard of many years ago, unless you're in the field. But it's becoming a buzzword. People stick it on, like something you can buy, like a back knob or something. Hey, it gets trigger points out, whatever. It kind of does, but you do want someone to check you out, like a professional, just to make sure, you're clear of these problems.
Sure. How long were you in school for? Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh, I was there for a year, and luckily I was always into health and fitness because it helped me get through a lot of the classes. Um, I earned like a degree, let's call it a degree. Again, and mostly I even had a clinic where I had to have to treat people. I had to make sure I can treat people, get them out of pain in the clinic environment.
Sure. What's the degree called?
Myofascial trigger point pain specialist.
Pain specialist.
There you go.
Very cool.
So I actually use that. I mention all this because I use that when I'm training people or doing personal training. I not only have to look through the eyes of a personal trainer, but I also look through the eyes of a therapist. And they do battle each other here and there, but it's good to have both, you know, uh, both look through both of those different perspectives. Um, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just listening to you. So when did you get your first job as somebody's personal trainer? Who was your first client?
A first official client?
Yeah.
Wow, how many years ago was that? Let's just say I'm believing. I'm bad with time frames because of all I do. I do a lot. Let's just say it was 2005, 20 years ago, or so, almost 20 years ago. Again, but before that, I would always train friends and family. Whether I'm going to a gym, bring them to a gym, meet them at a gym, meet friends at the gym, and I thought I knew a lot back then because I was sharing what worked for me and my workout at the time and my goals. I didn't understand a lot of what other people's needs were. I just said, hey, this is going to work for you. You'll get stronger. You'll get even a little bigger. You'll have more energy. Just follow me with this, and that's what I did. I guess you'd say privately before I was an official trainer. Uh, but now I've just learned so much. I mean, every new client is a new experience. Everyone's different. Everyone has different goals. We all know the common ones. I want to get more muscle mass. I want to lose weight,
Right.
but there's a lot more to it.
Gotcha. So I wanted to ask this because you got into it a little bit with kind of doctors versus specialists. What are sort of, in your opinion, do you believe that personal fitness and pain management, is that something that people pay attention to, or is that something they usually more commonly go to their doctor before they're going to go to like a specialist? Usually, most people go to their doctor first, and maybe they'll recommend them to a specialist. But do you think it's something that's kind of taken lightly?
Well, I think you're right in that sense. I think people kind of, it depends. Younger generation, they like to, they're on this trend where they see some videos, they want to try some stuff, they like this, what they see, and they want to be, a superhero the next day. So, run to the gym. But you get some people who are busy with work, a little older, they feel like they've done their fitness or they're too tired to do fitness or some kind of fitness. So I guess that generation maybe waits for their doctor to say, I think it's time you go to the gym if you're looking to get more energy or more stamina or more strength or just move better. I think it depends on who, who and what's going on.
Sure. And you mostly train older individuals, correct?
I do. I guess when I started at the JCC, um, I took let's just say the early shift where a lot of people either come in, go to work, or a lot of retirees come in because they like to come in early, start their day, they're up early. So I managed to get a lot of seniors over the past few years, and which I enjoy. Um, I enjoy all different levels. I think at one time my youngest client was 19. My oldest was at the time, a couple of years ago, was 92. So there's a big span, and you learn a lot.
92.
Everyone
Nice.
has a different goal. You know?
Gotcha. So tell me kind of some of the things you've seen from like some of the clients that you've had in the past. What did they come in to train with you for? What was their reasoning for coming to you? And if they're still going along with you, or what are some of the more inspiring kind of clients you've had in your long kind of time doing this?
I get a lot of people for there is a goal section on the intake form we have, and I feel there's too many goals because they all sound good. I want to feel better, look better, I want to lose weight, I want more energy, I want to be pain free, I want to be flexible. Um, but when it comes down to it, I always try to zero in on what the maybe 2 to 3 most important goals are because everyone checks all the boxes. It's got to be about 10, 12 boxes on the form. So I would say most people are looking to have more energy, um, be a little bit more flexible, especially the seniors. They want to be more flexible. They do want to be stronger. They want help with balance. That's a big one in my book. I think every client I train, I always slip in some kind of balance exercise while they're just finishing one exercise. I said, okay, while you're just relaxing, let's go do a quick balance exercise just to check your balance. And I'll make it, you know, I'll gear it toward their ability. I'll make it a little challenging, not too challenging, depending upon the individual. Um, but then I had youngsters that, younger guys and girls that just wanted more strength. They wanted to look toned. They wanted to look bigger. Um, so it's a whole different spectrum, and that would be an entirely different workout. So,
So what are some of the best transformations you've seen?
oh, I've seen a lot of transformations, especially working with senior population quite a bit. I've seen, well, let's just say I've seen transformations from people that, let's say, had some post-surgery, complications that felt better afterwards. I was training a guy in his 50s. I mean, this guy would walk in and I'd say, just sit at the desk for a minute before we go out on the floor. He was grasping everything around him because of the pain he was in from his back surgery. I'm looking there. I'm sorry, but the camera's up there. So he would come in. I believe this gentleman had what's called a laminectomy. If you're not familiar with that, they kind of remove the lamina of the spine to relieve pressure off the spine and relieve pain. A discectomy and even a back fusion. And he's only in his 50s. And this guy was a big guy, and he started, gaining some weight because he was in this rut. Couldn't work out. He couldn't exercise. He just was in too much pain. So his wife and him contacted me to somehow get him started on something to help him move, and that was my job. I wanted to help him move. So I started on some light exercises for a couple of weeks, just light stuff that he can probably tolerate because he was in pain. He walked in with a cane, holding on to different things. I would help him from different machines or wherever we went to do some exercise. And then we moved over when he was starting to feel a little better. We moved into some light stretching, and then more stretching because he was able to, move and function much better in just about a month's time. By 2 months, he was able to walk in without his cane, and he was feeling so much better. And he would come in looking forward to the workout rather than dreading it. So I've seen stuff like that. Um, I've seen people that can't balance, and now they're able to balance, whether it's on one leg, not on their hands yet, but um, but I see all kinds of transformations. I see people's form better. I see their core acting, kicking in when they make certain movements, doing certain exercises. Their backs are stronger. They have more energy. I could go on and on and on about just a typical person that I trained or someone that I've trained. Another,
Yeah.
real quick, another great story was I trained a gentleman in his 70s who had Alzheimer's. And he was, when I first met him, I think I actually took over for another trainer that was on vacation, I believe. But when I first met him, he was kind of speechless and he didn't make eye contact and he had a blank stare. But I was able to get him on a treadmill and maybe pedal a little bit just to get some blood flowing. And within, let's just say, just to make a long story short, within about a month to 2 months, I had him doing some pretty physical stuff. I think some people would disagree with things I've given him. And because, someone with Alzheimer's, you don't want them dropping something on themselves. You don't want them to do anything that's dangerous. But I had him doing a lot of strength work, a lot of work that made him uh, use his coordination. I'd walk him around a certain way. Within about, I'll say, 2 to 3 months, he started speaking more. He was able to follow my instructions and listen more. He made eye contact. He actually looked at people around him. He was making, quite a big improvement from where he was in just a matter of 2 to 3 months. And what's incredible is, Alzheimer falls into a category where it's not reversible. But guess what? We somehow reversed it based on the type of exercises we've given him in 2 to 3 months. But I worked with him for a few years actually, and it was really rewarding to watch him, just progress into a different person, coming in saying hello, how are you, uh, you know, rather than a blank stare. He would come in with just a depressing blank stare. So it's really amazing.
So you improved his condition a fair amount.
Yeah.
So with that said, what do you think is the connection between having a strong body and having a strong mind?
Strong body, strong mind. Well, uh, I think they are connected. I mean, I don't know if they are connected. I have to say. Bear with me one sec.
Yeah, no problem. Good.
Something popped up. Yeah, something popped up right on the bottom of the video. Oh, okay. I guess I didn't know the keyboard. Um, I would say there is a connection between your mind and body. I would say if you continue moving, however you love doing it, your once you move your body, your mind will reap some rewards as well. So there is a connection. Like if you whatever it takes, keep moving your body. Whether you like walking, whether you like swimming, whether you like surfing, skiing, whatever, gardening, stuff, whatever you like to do, just move your body. Your mind will benefit. Let's see if I can use this as an example. If you like something, you will do more of it. You'll start to feel more, let's just say, invigorated. You'll focus more. Your alertness will go up. Like as I mentioned before, with the gentleman that had Alzheimer's, he gained so much more clarity in his mind from physical exercise. I didn't do anything with his mind. I didn't, I wasn't that type of therapist to him. I gave him physical uh, fitness drills and things like that, and exercises. And his mind, I guess, from all these chemicals shooting off in his body, finally opening up, made him speak better, focus more, just take my directions. You know, he listened to me. He knew who I was. So there is this connection, the mind, the body, and mind. That makes sense.
Yeah. Do you think that we, as American society, I guess you would say, do you think we put fitness too much on the back burner and sometimes are too dependent on maybe prescription medications and things like that?
Oh, sure. I mean, definitely. I would say definitely. Well, first of all, uh, yes, I think we rely too much on prescription medicine or magic pills, say.
Supplements.
Supplements. Right, exactly. Everybody wants a quick result, especially in this day and age. Everybody wants a quick result. Um, you know, we we all want some kind of quick result, whether it's we want to burn some fat, we want to get stronger, who knows what the case may be. We want to be out of pain. But if you think about it, there's people out there with high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, um, you know, high cholesterol. But if they did the research, there's a lot of research out there. I mean, it's at our fingertips these days. It's in a phone, it's on your computer, it's somewhere, it's on TV. So much research that if they do the research, a lot of getting involved in a fitness program. Actually, there's so much evidence that it's helping what I just mentioned and even more problems with the body and issues with the body. So I think we are relying on it too much for a quick fix, but I think the best thing is to, of course, do something natural. Something natural like follow some kind of fitness program. Do what you like. Do what makes you happy. Again, walk, ski, run, jump, play pickleball, whatever the case may be.
Have you ever had a situation where a client came into you and who knows, maybe they were two, three, 400 pounds, and
Mhm.
you thought, oh boy, this is gonna be work. Have you ever had that mindset, or is it just you take it all the same way and just do your best, the best you can with them?
I do the best I can because even though someone's overweight, I've had quite a few people quite overweight, and I know it's going to take a little time. I mean, think about how much time it took to gain that weight. So you need some time to lose that weight, right?
Right.
Number one. But I know for a fact that if I continue to do what I like doing or do best, is to try to move somebody in ways that they're not going to move themselves, strengthen them in ways they're not going to strengthen themselves, have that opportunity. I know in time it's just a matter of their body composition changing and raising their metabolism, and that muscle is going to build, and that body fat is going to burn off on its own. So it's not like I have to put someone through the mill and make them run around the block 1,000 times in one session. All right.
Right.
It's all about body composition. And once you understand that, people understand that, will have a better understanding for it. It will make more sense to build more muscle in order to keep their body fat down.
It's like a trainer is like a coach
Exactly.
in a sense.
Exactly. It's all about metabolism. And, of course, there is cardio. There's a lot of different aspects to fitness. Cardio is one, but you don't run on a treadmill 1,000 miles and neglect, weight training. Weight training is more important. People in the fitness world, most of them should understand that building strength, building muscle, raises the metabolism. Burning calories on a treadmill for about an hour or two, yes, it burns calories. Yes, you'll lose some weight, but guess what? You're going to put those calories back on if you don't have some good, uh, dense muscle in your body. So my job, I always gear everyone toward quite a bit of weight training. I know in their spare time they will do their cardio, they are active, or depending on who it is. And I'll do little cardio, but I'll do a lot more weight training. And the results are very good. I always take body composition periodically with my clients. So that's proof in the pudding.
So obviously you're a fitness trainer.
Mhm.
You're not a dietitian, but I wanted to ask this anyway. How important is diet in staying healthy and making a positive change for your body? Uh, do you ever give sort of advice there? I know you can only do so much, given your background, but how important, if you want to speak to a little bit to how important that is.
Okay, well, diet is very important. I mean, and let's look at it like this: an hour good spending time with me or another trainer, it's all good. But several hours away from me, eating all the wrong foods is another problem. I mean, it's that versus my 1 hour. It's not gonna really happen. Maybe in the beginning, your body will change a little bit, but we've been saying, society's been saying for how many years? 75 years or more. Good idea to eat some fruits and vegetables. Ever hear that? It's no joke. I mean, that's some good food. It's important. Um, have a little oatmeal in the morning rather than bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll. Just something. Just you got a goal. Like I know it's tough for a lot of people. I mean, to really stick to something or stick to a routine where they have to eat a certain way. But think about it. It's who knows. Just try it for a while. You have a goal. Put everything into it. Put your workout into it. Put your diet into it. It all comes together. Understand? It's all gonna benefit you. And maybe you could have that little cheat day on the weekend when you go to your family functions and things like that. Don't be too strict, but
Right.
and about it. All eating better is going to make you feel better. Your body doesn't have to process a lot of chemicals and a lot of different foods these days. Um, I'm I don't know, just it's just very important. I try to tell people here, just take a few tips. And my number one tip is yes, I am limited what I can say because I'm not a nutritionist, but people have to understand. You've seen people maybe sitting in an office and they're sipping maybe their coffee all day or whatever it may be, or something. They're just snacking all day. They said, "Well, I only ate this little bowl of something, but I just ate a little piece of it all day." They don't realize that they're continuing they're having their body spit out insulin. What's insulin do? It stores sugar. It stores everything they're eating. They need to give their body a break and not really munch in between meals because then your body can go into a fat burner mode. Every time you pick something up, whether it's a little something, your body has to reverse itself. Instead of burning fat, it's going to store energy, which is storing possibly body fat, or just not letting it burn, say. So it's very important. The little tips like that I try to give people. Don't eat in between meals. Try to eat what's healthy. Go to your cabinet now. If you're going to make this decision, a little help would be keeping stuff out of the house, you know, or just get rid of it because if it's not there, you can't eat it. And just fill up the house with something that you're not crazy about in the beginning, but sure enough, hey, you'll get used to eating some better foods, you know?
So most of your clients usually are on the older side.
Yep.
But you started your fitness journey very young, obviously. So how important can anybody at any age, is there an age where you're better off in terms of starting to lift weights and get fit, get
Well,
bigger, get jacked, so to speak?
I would say it's best when you're young. I mean, I started a little late in life. My brothers started before me. They started about 15 years old. I started about 19 years old, but we were always active.
Right.
So regardless, we didn't, I didn't lift weights till I was 19. I have to say personally, very active. And, you can't see me through the camera, but I'm only about 5'5" So in my time in school, whether I played volleyball, basketball, I had to really work hard to compete with most of the guys that were 6 foot and above. And that really makes you work very hard without a weight, but it just makes you, jump. Yeah, you have to jump high. You got to be quicker. Someone's little steps with their little legs has to compete with someone with a longer stride. All that adds up. So, but anybody can really start an exercise program. But it is best when you're young because your body is preparing itself for what it's going to be in years to come. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Even your neurological system. I mean, the way you move, your kinesthetic awareness, the way your body just moves in space. All of that has an effect on what you do when you're younger, but what has an effect when you're older. You don't lose that as much. But anybody can, I'd say, if they stuck to it, they can lift weights. Um, they can run. They can run. They can run marathons. Whatever the case may be. You don't have to start when you're young, but it is good to prepare your body and have that foundation of what it thinks it's going to be doing for the next, let's say, 100 years or so. Does
Right.
that make sense?
No, that did make sense. What did you play sports when you were younger?
I played. I wasn't really on many teams. I mean, maybe when I was very younger, lot younger, I was on a basketball team, school volleyball team, but I did a lot of sports with friends out in the park, schoolyard. We played handball. We played basketball. We played two-hand touch football. Occasional softball. Uh, let's see. I can go on with a few different things. I didn't get into golf, not until I was older. But what I'm getting at is I was always active. Thanks to my father, he was an active guy. He liked sports, but not so much again, not being on a team, but he would always take us, my brothers and I, to a park. We'd practice hitting. We'd climb. We would, you name it, anything. How fast can you run? He would time us. He would have us do broad jumps. Uh, you know, he would have us jump on top of things. He had us walking on our hands by the time we were 8 and 10 years old. I mean,
Walking on your hands. I don't even think you're joking about that.
no, he taught us how to stand on our hands, do headstands, balance ourselves. Always had a trick up his sleeve, but he just enjoyed doing this himself. He would actually show us how to do it, and then we would all do it together, and it was fun. I mean, this is what you did as kids because there weren't, you didn't have the games that you have now, or the, simulators or places to go to do all these different things. My father would always make something up to have us stay active. He would pull us over by a tree branch. He'd say, "God, let's see how many pull-ups you can do." And we were doing pull-ups for the first time. We didn't know what a pull-up was. We're on a tree branch, and he would hold us up there. He'd say, "Go ahead, keep doing it." We didn't know it was exercise. We just did it because it was fun. Oh, we came back. Let's try it again.
So, how important do you think the influence of a parent or a father is to establish kind of that fitness mindset, that mindset of staying healthy and getting active? Do you think that's where it comes first and then that dictates the rest?
I would say for me and my brothers and a lot of cousins and friends who came over, I'd say that that's a big part of it. Your parents. Your parents are a big influence in your life, of course. And I was fortunate to have a father who grew up in Brooklyn. played a lot of sports in the street, you know, back in what was it, probably the 40s, 50s. And again, he was a natural, you know, I guess you'd say genetically, just a small guy. I mean, he was about 118 pounds. I think it was high school that he was able to lift twice his weight above his head. He was only 118 pounds, a very thin guy, small guy for his, just like I guess I am. But he was the only one that can probably clean and jerk some weight above his head, twice his weight, 250 pounds. And that was just no problem for someone like him. But he was a big influence because he literally, again, made all different games for us. One time we went in the backyard. We lived in Brooklyn, so we had this small backyard and set up a cord, like this cord or this tight rope from one side of the yard to the other, and he hung old bed sheets over it. And he gave us paddles, and we played something like you'd see today called pickleball. That was 45 years ago, over 40 years ago. So he always had a trick up his sleeve, and it was always fun. We always, everything he did with us was fun, and we didn't realize we were getting, we didn't know what tone was and muscular size and strength. We just were so involved with whatever he gave us to do. We had so much fun, you know.
So I gotta ask,
Go ahead.
I'm guessing you were the point guard on your basketball team.
That was so long ago, I don't even remember. That was like when I was very, very young, so I couldn't answer that question. But I'll say this: in volleyball was great because I took it in junior high school, and believe it or not, when you play volleyball, you don't realize uh, how much vertical
Yeah,
jumping you're getting.
those guys get up. Yeah.
They get up, and I thought it was amazing when I first heard that they jump between 3 and 4 feet. That's what I was told in junior high. By high school, I did take a volleyball class, and we played a few games, within the class. I think there were 2 classes I took in 2 different semesters, and I didn't realize it, but for a guy that's 5'5", not to brag, but I used to jump and touch the rim of a basketball hoop. That's how much vertical leap I had at the time. Now it's a little different, but from my dad also having us, seeing if we could jump over things, we'd stand and jump over a garbage pail, just leap right over it. We didn't think nothing of it. We didn't know that was important.
Were you 5'5" in high school, or did you get bigger? How tall were you in high school?
High school, I was probably when I first started about 5 feet.
Okay, freshman year.
Yeah, I'd say freshman or even 10th grade. I think I didn't grow. I'm still waiting about 40, 50 years later. So we were always active, and yeah, I was fortunate to have a father that was well into just keeping us active, always developing a game somehow, some way, whether it was in the house, outside the house.
Gotcha.
That
So, what was your workout routine back then when you were younger? And what's your personal workout routine now? What do you do on the daily, weekly basis? At how old are you?
I'm now 52. I feel like I'm 18 now. On a good day, no. But I do. I'm 52, and when I was very young, again, I really didn't work out or do anything. I didn't want to go near weights because I felt I was feeling good. I was toned. Why do I need weights? I don't want to, work out. My brothers got into it. 'Cause, I guess once you get that start lifting weights and you realize how much you're growing. I mean, it's obvious you want to keep doing it because at that age, whether you're guy, girl, you're gonna grow into something that starts looking like a superhero. Like, wow, look at this! I look like my action figure. I got triceps, I got forearms, I got whatever. So, so I was active when I was very young, but as I got older, when I started working out, my goal was just to put on size because I was a little, I was always a small guy. I was always the shortest guy in the class. I was that guy holding the sign in the class picture in the front of everybody. That was me. So I wanted to somehow enlarge myself a different way, and only way I could do it is, building larger muscles. I couldn't build myself up because I stopped growing, so I build myself out. And I would just do a basic. I called it a strengthening yet body sculpting workout. You look at yourself, you say, okay, what can I? At the time, I think I was about 19, 20 years old. I said, what can I use? I can use a little bit broader chest. I can use a bit of a wider back. So I religiously went to the gym. I think it was about four days a week, through rain, sleet, and snow, even on a bicycle. Because I didn't have a car at the time. I had to go a couple of miles just to go into one of my first gyms I joined, and it was a pretty hardcore gym. There was no air conditioner in it. It was in a warehouse filled with weights, and you went there you know, not to just stand around. You went there to work out and lift heavy weight. So my goal at the time was to lift heavy weight, and that I thought was the answer to everything. Hey, I can help friends. I can help family. Look, it's working for me. There's a lot. I would get a lot of questions because I was so dedicated. Starting to show. But as I got older now, I experienced a couple of years ago. Um, I think I mentioned I started taking up golf. Uh, 2 years ago, one of my clients said to me, "If you ever want to learn how to hit a golf ball, meet me at the local golf course at the range." So I did that, and I got the bug. Let's just say I got the golf bug. I was saying this is great, but I want to practice some more. And I was always very aggressive, so I had a very strong bat swing. You can't do that in golf, especially when you're learning, because if you hit the turf, you're going to feel it vibrate up your arms. So for the first time in my life, I had a shoulder injury. And, I got it as a therapist or a pain guy. I got it to a point where, maybe in 2 weeks it was like 85%, but it was still something wasn't right. That's my right arm. Um, so I realized after rehabilitating and how long it was taking, I said to myself, you know what? I'd rather move and be agile than strong. I don't need to be a Hulk anymore. So what? I can bench press 250 pounds. I don't care anymore. I want to be able to scratch my back. I want to be able to my joints. I want to preserve them. I don't want to hurt them. So I took that approach just only a couple of years ago, where I'm not lifting heavy weights anymore. So you said, what's my workout routine like now? Let's just say I lower the weight tremendously. I'm stretching a lot more. I mean, I'll spend a lot more time stretching so I can feel more flexible and more lean and more agile. And I really like the feeling now of not, you don't realize how many aches and pains you have from a wrong workout, or something that's maybe a little too much. Whether you're putting on a jacket, you go, oh, you get used to just sliding your hand in your jacket a different way, driving a certain way. Oh, my shoulder hurts a little. You don't realize all these little things, but a lot of it can stem from, overworking out. As much as we love it, there's a right way and there's a wrong way. And I was always very aggressive, so I knowledgeable, so I took myself a little further than I should. And but now I back off. I don't care about it anymore. I guess as you get older too, as long as you're healthy and waking up and feeling good, there's no ache in your back, there's no stiffness. That's more important to me, and I recommend that to most people. Just think.
What what age did you have to start slowing down a little bit? What age was that?
Um, let's see. I would say I should have slowed down a little bit, maybe a few more years back, but I only slowed down just a couple of years ago, like maybe around 49, 50.
Gotcha.
When I first originally, had a little
Shoulder.
issue, it made me think. Made me think about, wow. I see my clients. They're doing their workout. They're most of them, a lot of them are older than me, and look at them move. They're not as strong as me, but look at them move. They're moving so smoothly, so naturally. They don't have any aches or pain. That's what you want. You want to feel good. You don't want to be strong and have like a little problem with your back or your hip or your knee, right?
Right.
You learn that, and I make sure I follow that rule with all of my clients. I don't want to hurt them. I want to help them.
Right. So, what age did you slow down on weight lifting and heavyweight lifting?
I'll say again, just a couple of years ago, I
Okay.
was going as, let me say that. I wasn't lifting the 250-pound bench press I used to do, you know, 20 years ago. I put that to the side. I would lower it down to say, what, 150 to 200 pounds, and I was happy because you don't need that much. You don't. You think you do. You think you're not getting a good workout if you don't lift something heavy or you don't feel overly stimulated. It's not true. Your muscles turn on, they turn off. They turn on, they turn off. Up, down. Whatever exercise you're doing, you're keeping them in check, whatever you're doing. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. So, how important, because we talk about the mental and physical connection,
Mm-hmm.
one part of that is mentally staying consistent. How important is being consistent in training?
Oh, that is important. Again, it's like everything else. You want to be consistent, depending upon, like, if you're new, like, just say you're someone new at uh, new at a working out or new at a routine, some kind of exercise routine. You want to be consistent. It's like everything else. If you took piano lessons, right, and you weren't consistent, you go back to that keyboard, starting to use one finger, going ding, ding, ding. Wait a minute, how did I do this with all my fingers? Wait, no, wait. Let's start again with one finger. You want to remember things. You want it to get into your brain. So it is important that if you're new, you're gonna. There's a learning process. It has to, neurologically sink in. But if you want results too, um, you do want to put the time in for whatever that goal may be. If you think you need to help your breathing, maybe you want to do a little extra cardio and not do it, only once every few weeks. You want to keep yourself a little active. You want to get stronger. You want to put the time in, maybe a few times a week, not every day, but you want to just, test your strength, wait a few days, let your body recuperate, go back again, strengthen it again, but don't do it too quickly. I make that a big point. Don't do too much too soon. You do too much too soon, your muscles will always work for you, no matter what the situation. They will lift something heavier, they will push something harder, but it's your tendons and ligaments as well, and bones that have to withstand a lot of tension and pressure as well. And everybody forgets that. They say, "Oh, I can do this. I can definitely do it." But then they don't realize maybe a few weeks into their workout, why do I got this? Why do I got this thing happening back here when I lift my arms? It's because you did too much too soon. So,
Some people, maybe they're too afraid to go to the gym because of the stigma around, I'd say, gym culture. People are afraid of getting judged based off what kind of workout they're doing, or they're afraid of eyeballs, and sometimes that keeps them from going to the gym at all.
mhm.
What do you have any thoughts on that, and any ways to overcome kind of insecurities of going to a public gym or working out?
Well, I do have a few. Um, I did. I did remember those days when I first started in it. Here I was looking at my brother who already started working out maybe 4 years before I did, and he was lifting some heavy weight. He was looking strong, and I go to the gym, and I remember. I mean, most of us have seen the 45-pound weight plates, right? I I couldn't do that. I couldn't put 25 on each side. I couldn't. I didn't have the strength I thought I had to push weight in one direction like that. I had maybe endurance. I was an endurance guy at the time. I walked in there as a lean, strong guy, but I remember feeling like, oh man, I'm kind of embarrassed that I have to take these weights off.
Closer to the mic, yeah.
Oh, okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
I'll get a little closer. Sorry. Um, so I was a little shy and intimidated being in the gym, but I remember I stuck to my goal. My goal was to get stronger and build up that weight uh, efficiently and properly and slowly. But if someone does feel a little intimidated going into a gym because you know how they feel in the beginning, I would say just make sure you have your goal. maybe go to a gym and have somebody give you a tour, and you could ask those questions. Where are these, classes that I need to take? I want to take classes. I want to build up my stamina, my endurance. They'll direct you to a room that you can kind of just go one way into that room and focus on it, achieve your goal. Where are the free weights? I just want to go into my corner. Where's this specific exercise? Because I'm looking at building my body a little differently over here and here. Where's the leg presses and all that stuff? I would say just start small, you know. And even if you did this, I tell this to a lot of people. They think I'm crazy, but if you want to say attend the gym, maybe okay, I don't know. Do you want to start at home first, a little bit, get used to it, learn a little bit about it, so you feel a little more confident, in your abilities and what you're doing, and maybe have a little bit more energy and strength. That if you did go to a gym, you're feeling more comfortable. But what I tell people is, if you're going to go to a gym and you're not sure if this is something you want to do or how it's going to work, go one day a week. They're like, 1 day a week, is that enough? It is enough. What we talked about before, just keep your muscles in check. That's it. You're going to learn a few things. It's like a class. You're going to learn a lot in 1 day. Then you're going to realize, wow, that 1 day, I could probably do 2 days. I'm getting a little comfortable with this. It's only 1 day a week. I remember how it was. It was pretty interesting. I do want to experiment with something else. That 1 day is going to turn into 2 days. And sooner or later, you're going to get comfortable without realizing it. That 2 days may turn into three, provided you have the time. Three may turn into four, but let's back up a little. Start with one, start small, and you'll see that everything will just fall in place without you realizing. It's like everything else. You're always a little nervous riding a bike for the first time, right? Or driving a car, whatever the case may be. But it will fall in place if you give it a little bit of time. Won't even think about your feelings anymore. You'll think about more your goals, because you're going to start feeling results and seeing results in just a matter of a couple of weeks.
Sure. And as you get stronger and you improve more, you become more confident,
Right.
and you shut out all that noise of thinking about what other people are thinking about you when you're at the gym, and that all kind of goes away too as you
Right.
get more confident.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, in your long years of training, has there ever been a scary situation happen? Maybe somebody got hurt, or somebody maybe pushed themselves a little too hard, or has that never happened in your experience?
Uh, let's see. I won't say yes. I won't say no, but just on a daily basis. Like I mentioned before, I give a lot of people balance drills within their workout somewhere. And being I'm dealing with a lot of seniors, the way I when I give any exercise, I have my eyes, uh, body around these people. I'm spotting them just in case they go off and lose balance or whatever the case may be. Because everyone, excuse me, they feel confident, like, oh, I can take this weight, hold it out, and stand on my legs. But when they try it, it's a whole different story. They start losing balance. So, excuse me. Um, I've caught many people, not just balance exercises, but just even exercise in general. Anything can happen at any moment. And that is something you really got to take seriously. And this is just not one incident that's happened. It's happened numerous times where something can happen when you least expect it. You can look the other way because someone calls your name, and someone could just, for instance, again, lose their balance or whatever the case may be. So just in general, I won't say there was anything scary, but uh, you know, I think another client I had was looking for a weight, and she walked away from me, and she was walking. I saw her going right toward a dumbbell that someone left on the ground, well, the landmine in gym world. And I was able to put my hand out and just like brace her before she tripped fully on the floor. So you got to just always just stay alert. Especially that's what I do. I just always keep 10 eyes on people, on a daily basis. So it can be scary. It can be a little, but
Right. Put your weights away.
What you weight to exactly. Someone must have did a floor exercise and left it near, a rack of something, and that rack, has legs, but just made the leg extend itself more.
Gotcha. So, many clients in your many years. So, has there ever been any clients that really inspired you? You came in and maybe they had an infectious personality or they went above and beyond what their goals were and it touched you or inspired you.
Sure, there's a few. I mean, we did touch on the Alzheimer's client. There is a gentleman I train in his 70s. He he has two prosthetic legs, and I see him twice a week now for the past several years, and it amazes me. First of all, for him to just show up, he shows up. His wife brings him. A wonderful man. His wife is wonderful, and has such a good outlook on just life. And the things I had him do, I mean, he really he impressed me. He really inspired me, and he inspires others who watch him in the gym. I had him, believe it or not, pushing a sled of weight across the room uh, with his prosthetic legs. I mean, I had him doing battle rope drills. I have him do push-ups on a bar, on an incline. He does everything I give quite a few other people, and he's determined, and nothing can really stop this guy. His mind is very very powerful, and he's not a powerful man, but he's just determined to do something for himself as much as he can with what he has. So he's a good inspiration to again myself and everyone around me that watches him at the gym.
Very cool. So, that's obviously very, very inspiring. I mean, if a man in his 70s with two prosthetic legs could do that and get to the gym, I think that definitely could be an inspiring story for a lot of people.
There is another, again, I could talk about several different clients. They amaze me. I do train another couple. Um, uh, the wife is about 87 years old, and her husband is 92 years old. And again, I give them exercises that I give many other people of all different ages. And they don't, you have to see them work out to believe it, especially the husband. If I tell him, let's do some push ups, he does, instead of saying do 10, he'll go to 15 or 20 and he'll do them fast. He looks literally like, I'd say, a younger person at 30 doing push ups at the speed he does it. He's really a super inspiration, and she is as well. And they're a lot of fun too. I mean, they work out together, they do things together, we all have a good time. We do laugh a little. They, they're just a wonderful, wonderful couple to train. I'm blessed to have them and the other gentleman I mentioned, and his wife coming in with prosthetics, and a lot of other clients that I've just, they're all different and they're all just wonderful people. I've made so many friends training uh, all these different people over the years. You know,
Very cool.
I do have a quick saying.
Yeah,
I tell all of my clients, and I'll tell them again if they should watch this. On paper, you're my client, but in reality, we're friends. So,
that's cool. That's great that you're able to establish that connection with your clients.
yeah.
And I think that's what many people would look forward to if they're or look forward to when they're searching for a personal trainer, a coach that can motivate them. And which brings me to my next question because I was going to discuss this because we talked about how building that mindset of staying fit is important. And we also talked about how just getting into the gym one time could build up the confidence to continue to go.
Mm.
What about people who struggle with motivation to even get in and they haven't had that sort of background, like say they've kind of been couch potato young as at their young ages and maybe never got active and maybe something flipped the switch and they want to get in the gym but they just don't have that motivation built in. Have you ever seen that? And what would you
I
say to
do.
that?
I've seen that a lot. People always say, "Well, I'll get to the gym after the summer, after the wedding, after vacation." You get all these different answers. But if we backtrack a little, I mentioned before, some of those types of people, I do mention to them, why not go to the gym once a week? Again, I get like they look at me with 10 heads. Once a week, what's that going to do for me? Well, what it's going to do, it's not going to put a big dent in your schedule right now. You're going to try something. I guarantee you try it. You're going to feel like a little bit of a fish out of water in the beginning, but eventually you're going to say that wasn't so bad. Maybe I can go once a week for, I tell them, go a couple of weeks, or once a week. Make it, and it's good for your body too. Your body has to get acclimated. I'll also mention that, but go once a week, and you'll see that once a week might just turn into 2 times a week. Once they're going to get a little more comfortable. So that couch potato thing, it's comfortable, but they already started the process of doing something new, something different, something that they're going to eventually feel like, wait a minute, I feel a little different. I have most of my clients tell me in about literally about 3 weeks of training when they first begin a training program, I feel good. I feel different. I feel more awake. I feel more alert. I feel like I have more energy. And that's exactly right. You're going to feel it. Just give it a few weeks, you'll feel it. In a few more weeks, you'll see it.
Just get in there. You just got to get your foot in the door, right?
Just get your foot in the door. Again, just once a week. Just start once a week because it's not intimidating. You tell someone once a week to do something, okay, I could probably make it there once a week. I'm not committed to 3 days, and they feel like a new person or someone like that. That's like you said, a couch potato or something. I I'm not ready to change my whole life, but they won't have that attitude when you tell them go once a week. They're like, well, it's not really changing my whole life or schedule. I'll try it. I might try. They most likely try it because you tell someone you got to get on a gym program. All these thoughts come to somebody's head like time, a lot of pain, effort, energy, uncomfortable, being uncomfortable or intimidated. I got to work my way there. I need to have my whole schedule cleared so I can concentrate on myself. No, it doesn't have to be that way. Just go once a week, give it a shot. Like I said, just find something you like in that one day. Go for a tour, have somebody walk you around. Where's a treadmill? Start with a treadmill. Just walk on it. Get the feel of what's going on in the gym. You know, ride a bike. You know, a recumbent bike. Sit there and just who knows. But be in the gym. Be in that atmosphere. Be in that environment. And you're going to see one day is going to turn into 2 days eventually, automatically, guaranteed. And then two will turn into three, and then you start your workout program.
Right. Yeah. And that's you've got to get the foot in the door and that's the step to making great changes in your life. So I would, I feel like personal training it's become very popular. I know a lot of athletes do it. Tom Brady's trainer and all these athletes have trainers that have gotten pretty well known.
Mm,
Especially Tom Brady's trainer with stretching and the stuff you were talking about a little bit. He's very popular. So obviously, and that's the celebrity world. Uh, every regular everyday people, not as much as the athletes, obviously, because they have the money and whatnot.
yeah.
But how important if you want to speak to kind of the big trainers, if you know any, and how important would be, what advice would you give to people who maybe are looking into getting a personal trainer?
Um, I don't really follow too many of the big time trainers, but I do want to mention to someone we all want to be, we all have that goal. Think about your goal. You don't have to be an Olympian. Everybody thinks they have to give it, 1,000%, be that Olympian. I got to do it all. I got the best trainer in the world. I got to have, like all these, you know, big football players have and baseball players. I need to have my own personal gym, my own space, and do this great workout. Maybe even somewhere on a mountain. I don't know. You don't need that. You just have to focus on your goals, and find someone that can help you with those goals if need be. A good personal trainer. There's so many of, let's say, us around. Um, there's access to the internet to give you a little bit more insight as to what maybe you want to do or other things you can do. But focus on your goal. And again, once you stick to that goal, you're bound to get better and better, whatever that case may be. You could be getting better with your cardio situation, breathing better, have more stamina, have more energy, have more strength, lose more weight, whatever the case may be. Just stick to your goal. Don't run in the gym and say, I want to be everything that this gym can offer me and everybody else. What do you want? Focus on yourself. Focus. For me, it was being a little larger in my younger days because, again, I wasn't the tallest guy in the class. I still aren't. But I wanted to get bigger. That was it was hypertrophy, muscle hypertrophy. Thank goodness I never had a problem with losing weight. But maybe someone does. Focus on that. Again, it's all what's inside your head and it's going to make you feel good and the results you want at the end of the day. You don't need the top training. You just need someone that you'll learn something from. Anybody can teach you. A friend that already has experience, family member, someone at your local gym. They're gonna teach you something, and it's like any other class you've taken in this world. You can take a class in a sport. You can take a class at a college. Take take the time to go to your local gym and think about using a personal trainer for a couple of weeks, like as if it's any other class you would take, a piano class, a guitar class, and you will learn something. You'll walk away with more knowledge. You'll walk away, hopefully, thinking more about respecting your body too, because you have to be safe. So, my advice is go out, find someone that can help you, but focus on your two, let's just say two or three most important goals, not a dozen goals. We all want that dozen goal, list accomplished, but it's not necessary.
Great advice. And I think that's a very good promotion of just getting out there, getting active, and taking care of yourself. So
Exactly.
I have one last question because you said that you had a 90-year-old plus client that could do 30 push-ups.
Hmm.
How many push-ups can you do in a minute?
I never really tried lately, but I'll guess. I would do it for the camera, but no, I won't. um, my mind doesn't work like that anymore. Let me say that, Keffer, because again, when we talk about safety, I know that if I go for my, let's just say, personal record of how many push-ups I can do in a minute, um, I know I'm going to feel something different the next day, and it might be something negative, not much, but I'm very
Right.
conscious of my body. And for instance, I play racquetball once a week, and racquetball, it's like everything else, how much you put into it. I put, again, as a little guy, I put almost 1,000% in everything I do. So I know the very next day I played racquetball and I've depleted a lot of energy and I may be a little sore from certain twists and moves. And I'm a human being. I get a couple of aches here and there, some Dom syndrome, delayed onset muscle soreness. So my mind doesn't look to really go for my work personal records anymore. Like back in the day, again, I was bench pressing what 250 pounds or somewhere around there, 8 times, no problem. And everybody would say, go for your 315 max. I said, nah, I don't want to work out. I don't want to deplete my energy. I want to finish my workout and do 8 reps, not one rep with 315 pounds. So, but these days I think more about safety. But if I had to put a number on, let's see, if I could do 20 pull-ups in about a minute. I was in a contest a couple of years ago at Coney Island. I was just walking on the boardwalk and they had, I think the Marines there doing pull-ups. And it said, You want to try it, see how many pull-ups you can do in a minute. I got myself to do 20 pull-ups, and I still had time left over. But it was tough because I wasn't really prepared. I think I was just walking by. I don't know if I ate lunch, but I was able to hit. I think I was at 19, and it was getting difficult. And a woman said to me, "Go for 20, go for 20, go for 20." I'm like, "Why?" She goes, "When you come down, I'll tell you." I managed to get the 20th pull-up in less than a minute. They said, "You still have time." I said, "Look, 20 is a nice round number. I'll take it." I jumped off the bar. She said, "I wanted you to get to 20 because you beat the record. I have the record on the boardwalk right now for the marine pull-ups." So that was 20 pull-ups. I can't answer your push-up. So I would imagine it's a little bit more because pushing up is a little easier.
Pretty cool. And you said that that got you to do handstands.
Yes.
How much space is behind you?
How much space is behind me? Let's see.
Yeah.
Uh, I can. I got some space here. I probably will hit this. But you want me to do a handstand on camera?
I mean, if you can.
Well, I feel like I guess it's mind over matter. I never did one in a room like this, but let's just see if I can raise myself up. All right, let's try it. We're gonna try this. We don't know what's gonna happen. It might be funny. I might just put my foot through that window back there, but we'll see. So all I'm gonna do is just stand on my hands. Here we go.
He wasn't lying, folks.
It is a little tight back here, but I felt pretty good. It's been a while.
Well, that was a highlight. Now, if you did the push-ups, I would have done them with you.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Come on.
Oh, okay. All right. So
You have room?
I have room. Wait, I can move because my camera. Hold on.
Well, if
All
I
right.
have room to do a handstand, I think I'll have room to do a push.
Wait. All right. So we're gonna do a minute or 30 seconds.
Let's do 30 seconds,
Yeah. Let's do.
and let's count together. So don't think speed.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna move this. Yep. All right. All right. Let's see if. All right. Let's see if I can. Just gotta adjust this. All right. This is why this wasn't live. All right. Can you see? Let's see if I can feel. All right. Right. Move this a little back. Okay. Yep. I'm ready. Feel good. And there you go. Yeah, I mean, I didn't do my push-ups today, so that was fun. Of course. We just
It's just some insight and some experience, and a lot more to say. So maybe down the road, if you ever want to do something with more therapy talk. That's really interesting. And some even some interview some clients, whatever you want to do. It's all.
Of course. No, I said with my last guest that I like to get people who I can have interesting conversations with and just talk and hopefully educate some people. And I thought that was very, very good. So I definitely would have you on again.
Cool. Whenever you like. And I guess we'll talk more about some other things coming up. Um, yeah. So thank you again for having me. This was really, really, really fun. And I
All
got
right.
a workout out of it too.
Exactly. Yeah, we did it. I wanted to see if you do it, and we got it in. So,
Give you a
so
pound. Good job.
there you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next podcast.
All right. Take care,
Peace.
guys.